Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we are finally going to be talking about my favorite books over the last 2.5 years that I have received from Twisted Retreat book box. I've been doing unboxings on my channel since that book box launched back in October of 2022. I really enjoy a lot of the authors that I have been exposed to through Twisted Retreat. I love the editions that they send us. And I've discovered a lot of amazing novels through that book box. So I've narrowed it down to my top 5 of books that I think have made that box truly worth it for me. For those of you guys who do not know, Twisted Retreat is a monthly subscription horror book box done by the people over at Unplugged. Every month you will get a custom limited edition release of a recently released novel by a horror author. Sometimes they lean into more like dark fantasy or thriller, but at the core root of it all, it is always horror. Sometimes you do get 2 books. They are absolutely stunning. They work with a lot of indie publications and indie authors, so I've been exposed to so many people that I don't think I would have ever discovered previously, and I want to share those with you today. As you can see, I have a large gap in my bookshelf because I took all of those books down. But yeah, let's dive in. We'll go through the stories. We'll go through what I loved about them. We'll look at the books and the level of quality that go into the books. This isn't anything sponsored by Twisted Retreat. I don't do any paid promotions or videos, but Twisted Retreat and Nightworms are the 2 book boxes that I really do love, and I love to promote them on my channel because I've gotten so much out of them. And so today we are going to chat about why some of those reasons are. Alrighty, so first up, this book kind of like swept the world. I think a lot of people were really excited about this. I think it was all over those like Goodreads Best of 2024 list. But this is The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monica Kim. This edition is beautiful. We have a ton of little eyeballs all up and around the stenciled edging. Our edition is signed by Monica Kim, which is great. We have this really kind of grotesque interior inside, and then it gets even creepier with the illustrations on the other of the inside flap. This one is a special edition book jacket, so we do also have an alternative cover on the inside, and then we have the actual hardcover itself, where it does have the title of the book, and then on the spine we get the author's name as well as the title. I definitely prefer it when you have the title and the author's name on the cover, and then I really like kind of how striking the foiled edging is on the back. Now this book is interesting to me because when I first read it, I don't think I loved it anywhere near as much as everybody else who read it did. I think this is more of like a 3-star read for me. However, the reason it's on this list is because this book has stuck with me. I don't think that I am changing my rating from a 3-star rating, but I will say that I'm extremely happy that I read it, and I would love to read more from Monica Kim. I really liked the kind of angle she took when writing this story and just how kind of bizarre the entirety of it was. And there's a lot of scenes that are kind of burned into my brain that haven't left me since I put this book down. I'm going to read the inside flap for y'all. So it says, feminist psychological horror about the making of a female serial killer from a Korean American perspective. Ji-won's life tumbles into disarray in the wake of her appa's extramarital affair and subsequent departure. Her mother distraught, her young sister hurt and confused, her college freshman grades failing, her dreams horrifying yet enticing. In them, Ji-won walks through bloody rooms full of eyes, succulent blue eyes, salivatingly blue eyes, eyes the same shape and shade as George's, who is Uma's obnoxious new boyfriend. George has already overstayed his welcome in her family's claustrophobic apartment. He brags about his puffed-up consulting job, ogles Asian waitresses while dining out, and acts condescending towards Ji-won and her sister, as if he deserves all of Uma's fawning adoration. No, George doesn't deserve anything from her family. Ji-won will make sure of that. For no matter how many victims accumulate around her campus, or how many people she must deceive and manipulate, Ji-won's hunger and her rage deserve to be sated. A brilliantly inventive, subversive novel about a young woman unraveling, Monica Kim's The Eyes Are the Best Part is a story of a family falling apart and trying to find their way back to each other, marking a bold new voice in horror that will leave readers mesmerized and craving more. Again, I think this is definitely worth a read. I believe this is a debut novel for Monica Kim, and it struggles from a lot of the things that debut authors struggle with. Pacing, character development, getting those plot points fully sorted out. But at the end of the day, it does make me want to read more from Monica Kim and see what she can do in the future. And it was a very kind of gross and original concept, very, very absurdist, very dark and strange. And I really loved all of the Korean American culture that was brought into this story. So definitely worth checking out, in my opinion. And I love how beautiful this edition is. The eye motif, they really killed it. Pun intended. Okay, next up we have Legacy Witches by Cass K. Now, this novel is the beginning of a series, and I didn't know that when I picked it up, and I'm fully invested in reading this series now. So that's definitely a testament to this selection of putting this book in the Twisted Retreat box, that it convinced me to keep reading a series. If you've been on my channel for a while, you know that I am not a big series fan. There are very few series that I feel compelled to keep reading. And this is one of, I think there's like 5 series that I have been convinced to read over the last couple of years. And this is definitely one of them. I love this book. I love this edition. I think it's really, really striking and pretty. We have the kind of phases of the moon on the stenciled edges. We have a map of this fictionalized version of Salem on the interior. I believe it continues on the other side. Oh no, it does not. We have more witch and moon symbolism on the interior. This one is not signed, but we do have this kind of cool illustration. I'm not sure if this is in the like regular paper-bound edition that you can get, but it is in the Twisted Retreat version. And then we do have this beautiful, beautiful hardback cover. There is no interior on the dust jacket, but we do have this really, really nice hardback cover. I think it's just so stunning. It looks like an old book. I almost wish it was like an imitation leather. Sometimes Twisted Retreat does do imitation leather, and I love it. We have this one by Sugarcane by Cass K. That is an imitation leather book. So usually they will do that for their like second book that they've included for the month, but this one just kind of has that aesthetic without actually being imitation leather. We'll read the inside flap for this one. Seeing ghosts and coming from a long line of murderous witches has made life less than sunshine and rainbows for Vianna Roots. When she inherits the family's haunted house, she decides flipping the rundown dump for cash is the smartest move. But the ghosts that haunt her have a different plan. After encountering the spirit of a missing local witch, Vianna finds herself drawn into the mystery of who murdered the girl, and her meddling draws the attention of the oldest coven in Salem. When they make an offer on the house, Vianna hesitates. Cutting ties with the demon who possesses her home and the transgender outcast witch, who may just be the best friend she never knew she wanted, isn't so simple. The tainted legacy of the witches before her was why she ran 10 years ago, but this time Vianna is ready to prove that the past doesn't define her. This is a really fun kind of cozy horror story. It reminds me a lot of Darcy Coates. It reminds me a lot of kind of like the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina and like Halloween Town. There's a lot of fun, cozy elements. I really love that the Salem in this story is very, very, very similar to what Salem is like in real life, but still really takes on a kind of fictional witchy component to it. There's a lot of really, really intriguing world building in this story, and I love the characters. They are so fun to connect with and so intriguing to me, and I've had a blast reading this series. Okay, next up we have one more series to talk about, and that is Briar Dark by S.A. Harrian. I did not know that this was a series at all when I picked this up, and I was so bummed when I got to the end of it because I was like, you can't leave me on a cliffhanger. Like, I need to know what happens. I read this so fast, and I'm actually about to finally read the second installment, Waywarden. I'm doing a buddy read with a friend of mine, so I am sold on this story. I thought this was super, super intriguing, kind of this like sci-fi style interdimensional horror survivalist tale is how I would say it. And I found this cover to just really, really draw me in. When you actually read the book, this cover actually makes so much sense. This is directly from a scene in the story, and I just absolutely adore it. We have a very simplistic inner illustration and very, very simplistic stenciled edges. This is one of the earlier books that Twisted Retreat did. It This is also, I believe, before they started doing the signed copies. I have like an electronic signature in the book, but it's not a real one. And it does say book 1. Like, I feel like when I first picked this up, I probably should have noticed that it does say book 1 right there, but I did not realize it was a series until I literally finished the entire thing. Oh, and I lie. There is actually a very, very subtle interior moment on the dust jacket. And then we have a very nice, again, kind of that imitation leather style foiling on the hardcover. I do love that it has the name of the book on it, but it doesn't say the author until you get to the spine, which again, kind of bothers me. And then you do have kind of an image of like what the scientists are looking for inside the story on the back. So I'm going to read the inside flap for y'all. And it says, for Dr. Sienna DuPont and her ambitious team, the Alpenglow Glacier expedition is a career-defining opportunity. But 30 miles into the desolate Dead Switch wilderness, they discover a missing hiker dangling from a tree, and their satellite phone fails to call out. Then the body vanishes without a trace. The disappearance isn't the only chilling anomaly. Sienna's map no longer aligns with the trail. The glacier they were supposed to study has inexplicably melted. Strange foliage overruns the mountainside, and a tunnel within a tree hollow lures Sienna to a hidden cabin, and a stranger with a sinister message. Holden Sharp's IT job offers a little distraction from his wasted potential, until he stumbles upon a decommissioned hard drive and an old audio file. Trapped on a mountain, Dr. Sienna DuPont recounts an expedition in chaos and the bloody death of a colleague. Entranced by the mystery, Holden searches for answers to Sienna's fate, but he is unprepared for the truth that will draw him to the outskirts of Dead Switch Wilderness, a place teeming with unfathomable nightmares and impossibilities. So this book reminds me a lot of the beginning of Adam Neville's The Ritual, kind of mixed with Annihilation. I've never read the novel Annihilation, but I've seen the film, like the sci-fi film with Natalie Portman, and I get so many of those like themes and motifs from those two pieces of media in this story, and I just absolutely adored it. The characters are interesting. It's a very compelling plot with really strange world building, and I can't wait to finish the series. So huge, huge fan of Briar Dark. Okay, next up. This is On a Clear Day, You Can See Block Island by Gage Greenwood. I had never heard of this author before at all. I didn't realize Block Island is a real place in Rhode Island that you can actually go and visit. It's an actual island off the coast of Rhode Island, which is not an island. And this book made it into my top 10 best reads of last year. I adore this cover. I think once you've read the book too, and you kind of see, like in the stenciled edges, you can see this creature who's going to reappear on the hardcover of this special edition. You start to really understand why this artwork went into here. The story is horrifying. It is heartbreaking. It is super original. Here we get a nice little map of Block Island on the interior. We get this really cool inside dust jacket reverse cover. And then, of course, we get our main creature feature for this story. I don't love that it doesn't have the name or the title on it, but we do get it on the stenciled edges, and then you get a kind of same shot of the same room based on different times in the story on the back end of this novel. I adore this book, and it is signed, which is fantastic. This book blew my mind. Like I was saying, it is heartbreaking, it is devastating. There is so much richness to the characters in this story, and I was absolutely blown away reading this. I'm going to read the back. Some horrors never end. 4 years after the Keating family endured the darkest experiences of their lives, the children are still fighting to move on. Charlie's anxiety has control of his life. Angela is afraid of the dark. Brian suffers from a drug addiction. Chrissy struggles to remember what happened to them, the details forever haunting the outskirts of her mind. But when new information comes to light about what they had witnessed, they make a plan to escape their problems once and for all. Sometimes the only way to confront your demons is to face them head on, so the Keating siblings decide to go back to the island and call their monsters out of the darkness. They soon realize the terror awaiting is much more than they bargained for. I love this. The direction that this story takes is really kind of slice of life moments of all of the siblings, all of the family members within this story. Again, it's very devastating. It's very heartbreaking. It's very, very dark, and features an amazing creature. Unlike like things that I've seen before. Gage Greenwood definitely created his own folklore behind it, but you can tell that he did a lot of research into creatures and phenomena to kind of come up with this character, and I just found this book to be absolutely amazing and beautiful, and I can't wait to read more from Gage Greenwood. Definitely one of my absolute favorite things that I've gotten out of Twisted Retreat. But I have to say my favorite book of all has been Alan Baxter's Sallow Bend. Now, originally I was supposed to get this in Nightworms, and they had an issue where that book never got sent out to anybody, and then I was lucky enough to get this beautiful limited edition version of it for a Twisted Retreat. This is kind of the original cover of the novel. They didn't really do much to change the cover for this limited edition dust jacket. I think that might be the only book that they've had that's done that. And this is a release from Cemetery Dance. We do get this great stenciled edges where we have the title of the book with these carnival motifs. And then we have this kind of strange, like, deer skull in the mountains, which I don't ever really understand. It does have the name of the book as well as the author on the cover, which I love, and on the spine. And then again, this kind of like lake with the sunset. Don't quite get the motifs on the actual design of this book, which is unfortunate because this is truly my favorite book that we have had thus far from Twisted Retreat. Twisted Retreat has actually done a second Alan Baxter book. They did Blood Covenant last year as well, which I enjoyed, but I didn't love anywhere near as much as this. So I had to highlight this particular novel. Let's read the inside flap. Something old and deadly has awoken. When two teenagers go missing from the small rural town of Sallow Bend, the residents come together to search for them. Little do they suspect that finding the wayward girls will be the start of their problems. An old evil is rising, and only one man seems to realize that everyone is in danger, and this is not the first time it's happened. With the carnival in town, people want to have a good time, but for many, this will be the worst time of their lives. I love this. This is the story of unlikely heroes. This is the story of a small town. I believe it's set in Australia because Alan Baxter is an Australian author, and you really just get to go inside the heads of many unusual leads for this story. I'm going to kind of leave it at that. There's a lot of twists and turns in this story, and it read very much to me like an old school Stephen King novel. If you're into people like Joe Hill or Ronald Malfi or Tim Meyer, Alan Baxter is definitely one of those authors that I feel like kind of follows in the footsteps of that kind of King style of writing for the contemporary times. And I absolutely loved this book. I highly recommend checking it out. Without a doubt, the best book that I've received from Twisted Retreat, and I am so happy that I got a chance to read it. Phenomenal, blew me away. One of the best books that I read of 2023, I believe. I think it actually was my second best read. I think Brother by Anya Allborn beat it out, but very close. Anyway, those are all of the books from Twisted Retreat that I have been raving about since reading them. I really enjoy what Twisted Retreat is doing. I love their limited editions. I love how beautiful and how much attention to detail they put into every single design, and the quality of the books has been pretty solid. And if they ever don't meet that quality standards, they have reissued items to kind of make up for the failure in quality. They are so good with their customer service, and they're just a box and a company that I love receiving, and that's why I promote them on my channel. It has nothing to do with paid promotion. I don't even know if they know that my channel exists, but it's definitely one of those things that, like, I share them with you guys because I believe in that company. So yeah. Anyways, that is all that I have for you guys today. As always, I try to post every Monday and Thursday. Hopefully getting back to that schedule very soon. And if you enjoyed these videos, please hit my like and subscribe buttons down below, and I will catch you all in the next one. Mwah.